2016 began with the last log of Tertius Hazelwick. And this story was the original one, which was also on Laggington. Laggington, by the way, is what we called Phoenix Diamond Knight's realm, but the 30-day trial unfortunately expired, and by the time I wanted to make a realm, it had gone down to 14 days. So there wasn't really much we could actually do with that series, so that's why it was cancelled and declared non-canon when I made the reboot, which was also put on hiatus because of exams and whatever. Which reminds me, I need to reboot that next month. So yeah, stay tuned for that one, I guess. So many things that I'm looking back on now, and I need to redo. I need to build up from where I left it off, because there's so many things that I want to carry on doing. And just never did. Shame, really. That's why I wanted to take inspiration from there. But unfortunately, I don't know, the world didn't seem to work properly. It was really, really laggy. At that point I still had my old computer, so maybe that was kind of something to do with it. I'll consider rebooting that one in the future. Maybe not Crazy Craft, because I had to start a new world for that one, and that was very tedious. So the answer to that one is probably Crazy Craft will not be seeing a return unless I do Crazy Craft 3, because that was already out by the time I started doing Crazy Craft 2.2. I just couldn't get the mods to work. Yeah, that's the level of that's the level of professionalism I had even just 1 year ago in 2017. But 2017 was gonna see so many changes to the Jacob Barter channel. Oh, so many changes. Of course, given that Pixelmon 3.5.1 ended in 2015, that left me with Skywars Returns, finish the story, and a bit more of Laggington before I had to, kind of start doing other series. But yes, that's when Season 2 of Super Mario 63 began. And only went up to about 6.5 episodes. I left the series for a while. I don't actually know why. The only thing I can really think of the reason is because I started doing a lot more songs. And the whole of 2015 I only did 8 songs, most of which were revision parodies, but revision parodies in the year of my GCSEs were going to get a lot more frequent. And that's what happened. So very soon I did a remake of Carbon Cycle, Deciduous, and all these plentiful other wonderful and beautiful songs that some of which I'm still quite proud of to this day, others I'm not. But enough said about that. What else did I do in 2016? I did UHC the radio play. There's a couple of mini games that I've been doing in those couple of years, but they never really got to be a full series. They're just kind of one-offs. I still kind of do one-off mini games with Leon Tarkshina to this day, but I never really want to make a proper series out of it. That's just, whenever they want to record. And I happen to be free at that moment. But yes, speaking of Leon Tarkshina, he's going to become a more potent figure on my channel in 2016 than he was in previous years. After the cancellation of the In the Wild series, which was kind of a joke series that I started talking about with Everlasting Natural / Luciana Mariana, or whoever, you know who I'm talking about. And the one time that I decided to play X-Run, when I didn't have a mouse, and is the most rage-inducing game of the entire Minecraft, so I went back again with Phoenix Diamond Knight, Leon Tarkshina becomes the figure that I promised that he would. Because soon after that, after a couple more revision parodies, comes probably, I think, my second most popular video for a long time. And most popular if you don't count the Pixelmon episode 13, which I never do, because that video got 1,000 views because some guy who had 1,000 subscribers back then and has 200,000 now, called Pixel Dip, he commented on that, and people found it. So yeah, there was no real reason for that video to start trending like it did. And Heart, Mind and Soul managed to surpass Mario 63 Episode 1 because Leon Tarkshina actually decided to talk about it on Roblox forums, and sometimes he asked people to go and dislike it or something like that. The reason was because at this point on Leon Tarkshina's channel, the Ban Love 2016 campaign was going on. And that was just a whole series of chaos. And Leon agrees at this point. But yeah, the first time I tried to make him change his mind about the whole Ban Love thing, because at the time I was, sometime around the time I was in a relationship, so you thought, why is he trying to ban love? But why? Why would you do that? I understand that, you know, he is aromantic asexual and doesn't feel any attraction himself, but this is the same person that was trying to promote LGBT rights and everything like that. If he's trying to promote the rights of people who feel different attractions to himself, why would he then try and restrict the attractions felt by other people than himself? It didn't make sense, and they said it was a protest against Hillary Clinton, which doesn't make any sense at all, and the whole thing just exploded. So he challenged me to make a video in 5 minutes describing why I thought the Ban Love 2016 was going to be a bad idea. So being the aspiring songwriter that I am, or being the songwriter that I am really, I decided to make a kind of parody diss track. I didn't do it in 5 minutes, it took me about half an hour maybe, but even so, I put a timer there to demonstrate that the song was less than 5 minutes long, even though the video could have told me otherwise, but I needed some sort of visuals for the video. That's why the timer is there. So yeah. And then afterwards that video got tons of comments of people saying "Sand" for some reason, and nothing really came out of it. So then enter the Leon Tarkshina rant, now privatized, because again, I don't make videos unless people ask me to, and they have a really good reason for it. In that one, I detail more about the Ban Love 2016 campaign and what was going on at the time, kind of talk about some of the videos that were of a thing back then, which of course include Leon's classic design of Lord of the Rings imagery, the same music, and just text. You know, the classic Leon. Ironically enough, the Leon Tarkshina rant part 2 would lead to complications further in the future, but more on that in a moment's time. Sometime between the releases of Heart, Mind and Soul and the Leon Tarkshina rant part 1 came a couple of songs that were interesting. The first one is Bilingual, which I have a live performance of, but it's not on my channel because it was uploaded by UK to Learn, which was a summer camp that I was at, with actually a friend of mine from when I lived in Spain, and we performed that song together at a talent show. We didn't win because I never win talent shows, because that's just how it happens. But I still love taking part in them. So then the next day I uploaded that same song, and you know, it did alright. Then of course there was also the 3-year anniversary, which was Just the Few of Us, parody of Just the Two of Us. This is a song that actually I for some reason had a book of when I was a child. I didn't really clock that. I kind of clocked that it was the same song because my dad showed it to me once. So I don't know where I was going with that. Some weird thing. But yeah, so I did a parody of that. Didn't turn out so well. Ironically enough, I was going off on a trip the next day, and the day this video is going to be uploaded, I'm coming back from a trip. So yeah, who thought it was a good idea to start uploading videos in summer and make anniversaries from it? This guy. But yes. Either way. Soon after that came the second Quarter Quell, which was exactly a year after the first one, even though I actually hit 50 subscribers 20 days beforehand, but I just never got around to making the Quarter Quell. That was also the reason that the gap between Leon Talks Jr. and Part 2 and Part 3 was so pronounced. At the time, it was going to be Loberon Melanor Part 3 because he changed his name for no apparent reason, because he liked to do that back in the day. But either way, so people participated in that one. I don't actually recall if Leon Talks Jr. was in that Quarter Quell or not, but it starts off as usual with an announcement, and I actually split the Q&A into 2 parts because the 5 things that annoy me was just not a good addition, so I decided to scratch that one and, you know, just start off with the other one. Start off, you know, do it well. And then, of course, after the Christmas card, which I forgot to mention was a thing that I started doing in 2015 as well, came what some people consider to be their favourite song of mine, Final Countdown 3. Not sure why, actually, but I don't know. For some reason, Beanie Boy, for example, who apparently has changed his name to Kit Kat Plays, as far as I can understand, is that's his favourite song, hence he used that as his diss track kind of joke thing. Not really sure. More on the information on the beef with the beanie on in a later video, something like that. I don't know what's going to happen at this point. I'm as confused as anyone else. But either way, the Final Countdown 3 concludes 2016.